Okay, Helldivers, we are back, and we've got an interesting conversation to have today. We've got a few things to talk about that's going on in the community right now, which, for the record, is not a lot. And then we are going to talk about something that is probably going to pain a lot of players, because realistically, the state that Helldivers is in right now could potentially be our own fault, or the fault of those defending it for so damn long with the get good mentality. We're going to dive on into everything today. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful blue thumbs up and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. And check out our sponsor, Instant Gaming, the platform where you can buy a PC, PlayStation, Xbox and Switch games cheaper with a 24/7 instant delivery, all running up to 70% off. It's an absolute no-brainer. I've just gone and got Wukong on there for 40 quid. It's absolutely ridiculous. Link in the description. Get your games a bit cheaper today. With that being said, let's take a look at what it is that's going on in the community right now. So one of the conversations that has been going around right recently has been with the talks of another free war bond. This has been something that people have been begging for and thought that with the escalation of freedom, the likelihood is that was when we would receive yet another one. It was quite a decent intro to the game, and it was long enough that it took people quite some time to be able to get through it before they had to get through to the premium war bonds, at which point they'd earn enough super credits by playing the game to be able to purchase maybe a couple of them. But this post right here went up stating, "Hey, Sham Georgiani, just wanted to ask a little question. Did the Arrowhead team ever have another free war bond planned for down the road? The one that released when the game dropped took a while to complete and gratifying when you filled out a whole page." And Sham said that has been discussed, but no details to share. So the likelihood is that it may be coming in the distant future, but it's not likely that we'll see anything soon. And the game is taking more of a tanking than it ever has done, as it's become more popular to hate on the game than it has to actually enjoy it, as we see right here with 3,000 upvotes on this Reddit post stating, "Helldivers 2 has officially tipped back into mostly negative reviews on Steam, and 66% of the Helldivers have retired to Super Earth, a drop from 62,000 players on August 26th to 21,000 players on August 29th, and no signs of slowing. What is the path forward for HD2? And this is a problem, obviously, right now at the point of actually playing. I can go into the map and see that there is 11,000 total players across all platforms, which is an absolutely distraught number, considering our major order right now is to kill 500 million automatons for a brand new napalm barrage, which isn't likely that we're going to obtain with the numbers currently at hand. It's a bit of a shame that that's the way forward, but it definitely is happening at the moment. Now, what is it that you can actually believe is going to happen in the 60 days and afterwards? At the moment, they're talking a lot of excuses with regards to the game and stating that they are burnt out. They have obviously got a lot of conversations going on right now. Twinbeard has been in the Discord talking about meetings that have been occurring over the last week with regards to the 60-day plan. But what is it that people think are going to change? And actually, there's a Reddit post right here that states the following with 2,000 upvotes saying, "Real talk, what do you actually believe will happen within these 60 days and afterwards? This is not a post to doom nor praise Arrowhead or HD2. I'm genuinely curious what people are really expecting or predicting, while Pyle and the CEO to take this game from here on out. Based on the development history of Magicka 1, 2 and Helldivers 1 and 2, management, the amount of bugs old and new, war bonds and new content, balanced designs, their logic and mindset, features new and possibly missing, patch history and the time between them, PR and public statements, stability of the game, decision making, etc. What do you see this game going? Will it stay afloat, crash hard soon, make a comeback like Final Fantasy, No Man's Sky, Siege, etc., die a slow drip, barely stay alive with a 10k player base? I don't care if you love the game, hate it, and find it boring, bland, okay, meh, disappointing, frustrating, terrible via game design, brilliant and groundbreaking. What future do you see for this game? And there is a lot of comments on this one, and there is a lot of people saying the following statement right here. I am tired of this cycle. I will wait for at least 6 months for them to release good patch after good patch. I lost faith long ago, just enjoying the memes nowadays, and I think that that's the disappointing factor of it. But a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon of hating on the game, stating that it is absolutely dead, they're never returning, the decisions that the development team are making are dumb, they're stupid. Although I think that the way that this 6-month lifespan has gone, they have always made these stupid decisions. They've always made these dumb changes, whether it was with the railgun, whether it was with the flamethrower and fire overall, the incendiary breaker. We saw the issue quite a few times with a load of different weapons just as things were starting to release, or a war bond would come out and then it would be nerfed straight afterwards. And the saying get good seemed to be quite a big mentality, and for the most part was something that a lot of players kind of ran through. People would have their questions, they would have their theories, and a lot of people like myself as a content creator would call out these theories, and we would be called out for being overly negative, and we weren't focusing on the positive, and the issues at hand are not going to last, and leave them to do their job and they'll actually fix it. You're not a game developer. The engine that they're using is not going to impact the game in any way, shape or form. They know their game better than you do, and I think that this is actually quite hilarious, because I recently saw a video by Odo who spoke about the quote-unquote glazers to haters, and for the first time in 6 months of creating content alongside this YouTuber, I genuinely agree with everything that he said inside of it, and I think that actually he nailed it on the head. This get good mentality and you're just being negative for no reason, and over loving a game is a little bit like overhyping a game before launch. When you have these games that are coming out, they look absolutely incredible, you overhype them to the point where they're never going to meet your expectations, and then when it launches it just flops into oblivion, a lot like the current Star Wars Outlaws and other games in toll. This has happened numerous times over the gaming history, and it seems to be an issue going forward. Except with Helldivers, we had this mid run through. A lot of people were defending the poor actions, defending the really bad decisions that were made by the development team of Arrowhead, and then after that would happen, it would then be a basis of the next bad decision would come along, and slowly but surely the get good community has dwindled through and dwindled down to the point where I don't actually think that there's any of them left. Yes, that was pretty much the birth of the Chaos Diver. This is where we're now becoming a point where it is trendy to be hating on the game. The game as an overall is a good game. It's not a bad game in any way, shape or form. Actually, I would say that the game is probably one of the better games that we've had this year, other than games like Wukong and more. But is this one going to change in the near distant future? Well, with a development team of around 100 odd people, I'm not so confident that it's going to change, and especially with the mentality of the CEO and CCO currently at hand, who's apparently had the same opinion as a majority of the community throughout most of the lifeline inside of Helldivers. It's never actually made any impact with the game, because realistically, no matter what their opinion is, for some reason they still pump out patches which actually go against everything that they're saying. I'm a little bit confused by it, not really too understanding on it, but we've always covered the positive and the negative here on the channel and been called out for it numerous of times. What is it that's going to happen to this game? Well, the likelihood is it will be dying very, very soon, but not because of the development team and the decisions that they're making. No, that's not how the gaming industry works, and it's definitely not how social media works. The game is going to die based on the player base at hand, and even those who are not playing the game still, because, well, hate sticks a lot further than love. And when you look at it on the main narrative of what this is happening right now, the negative on this is absolutely astronomical, to the point where Steam is now mostly negative, and we've just shown you that one via Reddit post previous. It's a shame to see this game do what it's doing, and hopefully it does have a No Man's Sky turnaround, but in my honest opinion, is it going to be in 60 days? Not a damn chance. And if they do manage to do it, then I'll be the first one to swallow my words and say that I was wrong. Unfortunately, that's just the way that the game has gone, because when we take a look at the most recent statements on the latest video, as you can see right here, we've got quite a few interesting ones. It states, if that law reason for reverting the fire changes winds up being accurate, it would probably be a good idea to have major orders that emphasize shortages and limit the effectiveness of certain weapons as a result until they are completed. And I think that this would be very, very interesting. I think that as an overall, using the major orders as as a way to revert changes would work very, very well, but these major orders are definitely not long enough to be able to revert those changes as an overall. I love the structure of this game, but unfortunately the mentality of it just ain't hitting. We've just had a giant fire nerf, we've just had a giant fire war bond, and now we're getting a napalm barrage, which is not really going to do a lot in hindsight, and even then, if they do buff the flamethrower, it's likely that the community will complain that it's not enough. So we'll see exactly how they play this one out, but I'm not too confident in it overall, even if they do everything that we asked them to do. Next comment right here states, they could be changing the fire weapons and making them like a napalm shooter where it sticks to enemies and burns them for more damage, which would be really cool. And again, speculation is speculation. These are opinions that you guys would love to see, but doesn't mean that it likely will happen, especially when these sorts of things come up on a basis. A lot of hearsay comes through, a lot of ideas come through the woodwork, but you guys kind of expect them to be able to listen to everything that's being said as and when it happens. And again, that's not the gaming industry, and that's not how it works. And the final comment that we had right here was they spent 8 years developing an outdated engine that they worked on for like 6 years after it went end of life. They probably could have switched engines at some point well before the 8 years. And again, this is one of those mentalities that way beforehand people were saying that the engine had absolutely nothing to do with it and we're all being over the top. But realistically, with the changes that we need at hand right now, the engine is not the issue here. It's the decisions that are made by the development team. That's just the honest truth. The engine is just a really good excuse for people to get angsty about it. And that's essentially what I've managed to find out based on the research and the people that I've spoken to within the gaming industry already. The engine's not going to change anything here. It's pretty much the work that they want to put into it. But yeah, it's such a shame to be able to do videos like this, because you guys know that I love the game through my heart and wholesome amounts of love for this movement. But realistically, you have to be honest when the time comes, and realistically, the time comes more often than not when it comes to the Helldivers franchise. Thank you so much again for watching. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe with post notifications turned on. I'll see you guys later for another upload, but as always, up until the next time, I'll see you in the clouds.